Hey guys, and good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. It's going to be a fun day. It is, I think, about 10 o'clock right now. I'm going to finish doing the laundry from last night. I had to run it through the dryer again because none of the stuff was dry completely. And so I'm going to go back down and get that stuff and then put the stuff that's in the washer in the dryer. So also, Giselle is currently cleaning the bathroom. I forgot to show this last night. I meant to, that Giselle put this together. This kind of marinated beef. I don't actually know what's in this. I think it's tomato sauce, beef, and some seasonings and stuff. We're going to be using that and some various other things. It's going to be kind of like a pick and choose what you want kind of thing, with black beans, small red beans, pinto beans. We have tomato and onion and green pepper. And we also have these tortillas because we're going to be making lunch in a couple hours because Steve is coming over today. Steve, we're gonna go get him from the train station. He's coming in from Boston. I'm not sure exactly how long his train trip is. I think it might be like an hour actually. So we're really glad that he's taking the time to come out here. I know he's going to be a little bit worried about Lucy and Malin leaving them behind for a little while, but we'll be taking him back later. So Steve is coming out here. We're going to pick him up from the train station. We're going to go then directly to Savers and possibly another Savers. We're not sure which one yet because there's kind of two that we could choose from besides the main one that we're going to be going to. The one that was in the old town we used to live in, and then one that is a little bit past where we work. So we could either do either one. We're not sure, but we'll see. We'll see what time allows us. We'll see how long we spend at the first one. But I know Steve has been really wanting to come to Savers and see if he can find some bookshelves for his apartment, and of course to look at books. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a really fun day. Then after that, he's going to come back here. We might film a couple videos. We're going to make lunch for all of us, where we can just kind of make burritos and stuff or whatever. We're going to make rice too, I think. And so we can just put stuff together. I don't know how long it'll take to make and eat lunch, but we might make some videos too. Might finally refilm that Q&A that Steve never ended up refilming when we were with him before, because I know a lot of people were just really curious to have their questions that they asked him to be answered. So anyway, it should be a really fun day, and I'm gonna finish doing the laundry, and there's a couple dishes that probably should be done too. I'm just gonna, we have like an hour, a little over an hour before we have to go get him, so I'm just kind of doing a few little things to be productive until that happens. I do need to take a shower as well, so. I don't know if you'll remember from last year when Steve came out here. This is the same train stop, but this is the world's worst stop like ever. It's very confusing. There's Steve. Hey, Steve.
Hello, BookTube. From the wilds of out west. I think I'm in Arizona, for God's sake.
How was the train ride?
With every mile that we drove, we got further and further away from the Brattle. So I'm very disoriented.
Steve's whole world is back that way a lot. We're at Savers. We're back. Steve hasn't been here in like a year now.
I'm thinking I might like to get a book.
Welcome, Steve, to our place.
Yes, indeed.
You like it?
I do. It's so cute.
We just went upstairs. I've never actually showed it before. There's a little apartment upstairs that looks like it's good for one person. It has a little kitchenette, a little bathroom.
The whole thing is like the size of this room.
The whole thing is the size of this room. It's a really
tiny but cute.
It's like a little attic that's been made into an apartment, but it's never been occupied, unless it is occupied by ghosties. What do you think?
Someone could easily live up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perfect one-person apartment if you're planning on not taking up much space while you plot the assassination of the president.
I think Steve wants to live up there.
Oh my God. How do you get at the Book of Merlin? If you want it. You don't.
Dear, quiet.
Well,
No.
it's actually a little bit easier than you think it would be to get books out. You just have to look them up. Yeah.
Oh, well, look at the problems with this room.
Not enough books.
There's no bookcase here, and there's none there. Look at this. What is this? Hawaiian heathens? That this is taking up space where a wall-to-ceiling bookcase could go? I don't even know what it is. Is it some sort of telegraph machine? Another floor-to-ceiling space right there. This should all be bookcases. You could double the amount of books in this room.
I think
This thing out of here.
you're encouraging bad habits, Steve.
Yes, I am. I should have said, you could have double the amount of books in this room and I will send them.
Steve is seriously considering moving with Deb into our
Yes.
attic.
No, it's not an attic. It's a perfectly fine apartment. It's a small, perfectly fine apartment. One room, one kitchen, one tiny little bathroom. Right up the stairs from two people who will answer every beck and call. As Deb and I will be moving in, we'll do a vlog of it. Thinking maybe next month.
Yeah, go for it. Go have to talk to our landlord. Yeah, and
He'll be fine. After all, we're only talking about two short-tempered old people, 4 dogs, and 1,600 books, 60,000 books. What objection could he possibly have? I'm in the Rhodes home, and it's adorable.
he doesn't like the feng shui of my office.
No, the feng shui of his office is bad. I'm perfectly happy to do consultation for any of you when it comes to your personal living space. Because, you know, I see people fight with their living spaces all the time, especially their workspaces. I will look at someone's workspace, and it will be a nightmare. And I will look at it, and I will think, this is a nightmare. And then they will say to me, I don't know why I don't get more work done. And I have to bite my tongue. But I don't have to bite my tongue here.
I feel like my office is pretty conducive to getting a lot of work
Now-
done.
Now,
Yeah.
it has the feng shui of a bathroom. Where you go in for one purpose and you can't wait for the purpose to be over so you can rejoin the world. That's not the feng shui it should have. Especially when it's got such a big, beautiful window.
You doing the consultation for other people, you're just going to go into their apartments, rip the TV off their walls, and throw them out the window. Just the bookcases.
He's making me sound like a villain, but BookTube, if you could see the gigantic Aztec altar of the TV in the other room there, a wall that could be perfectly used for bookcases.
Well, we're about to eat some food.
Yes.
Giselle made us lunch.
I'm going to eat this plate of beans, and then we're going to get back to Boston on my power.
Thank you for making it for us, Giselle.
Yes, thank you very much. Homemade food, how incredible.
Yeah, this is going to be really good. And we got some... I'm the only one eating guacamole because no one else liked it, but...
I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't know Steve liked it.
Didn't like it?
Didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh well.
I was like, I don't like it either.
We just bought whatever ingredients seemed like they might fit on something like this.
I
So.
love
I
this.
feel like I should be going upstairs instead of down. There's a 3rd floor, little, perfect space.
Steve and...
Can't wait until Deb and I move in.
Steve is planning out all the ways that we're gonna take care of him and Deb, make them food and stuff.
Yes.
They can have a keys to our apartment. They can come over all the time.
And they're going to take care of us until we're old and gray.
We just got done. We ate and we filmed a 30-minute long Q&A video. So hopefully that sustains people.
Now they're just going to leave me in the graveyard. I'm going to go back to my mausoleum.
This is the perfect place for you to move because you know.
I know, because it's not too long with Deb or me. That's no less moving expense.
We're in another Savers. We're looking through books. Someone seriously has unloaded their entire Stephen King collection. Just look at all of these Stephen King books. I have all of them already, which is disappointing because I would love to grab some that I don't have, but someone seriously got rid of just everything Stephen King. So much Stephen King. So we did find a bookcase that was almost perfect, but not quite perfect enough
They didn't
to
have
take with
pegs.
us. It didn't
No.
it didn't have pegs for the thing, which I'm sure you could get online, but it's kind of a hassle, and it was really big.
It would have fit.
I think it would have
Just
fit.
barely. It would have been right up to here.
Yeah.
But I know that I wouldn't bother with it. If I don't walk out with it in the condition I'm going to use it, I know that I wouldn't do it yourself. I'm just not
Yeah,
a do-it-yourself kind of guy. So.
It needs a little bit of DIY, so, but we'll hopefully next time find a perfect bookcase for
Yeah, I'm
for
coming
Steve.
back next week, so we'll look again, and we'll. You should pan to the look of horror on Giselle's face.
I was like, what's going on? I have work, so
Yeah.
you and Chris could go out and
I have work too.
hang out.
This is why work is for the birds. Just we need to be all
It is.
we all need to be Steves.
Work. They have work. Blow it off.
Well, we're on our way back now to
We're on our way back to Hyde Cottage on my little babies.
yeah. So
My little itty bitty babies.
we'll get there very soon. Hey, Steve has got some presents to open. Oh boy, there's 7 book packages, and this thing down here. Steve, what is that? What
It's
is?
a computer. I also have an extra clingy dog.
Well, we've been gone for hours.
She ordinarily wouldn't be leaning on top of me like this. being next to me, but not holding on to me like this.
Also, there is a mouse scurrying about. It's not in focus. Come on, get in focus. Apparently this mouse has taken up residence here, Steve.
Yes, Toulouse lives here.
Toulouse.
He's nice and big by now.
Oh my goodness. Well,
you won't need to be sitting around long before he loses his inhibitions. He's well aware that I have guests. He doesn't care. He'll stick to the shadows at first, but then he won't care after I guess here.
and not everyone would just be cool with the mouse hanging out in their house, but Steve is.
They're perfectly nice.
Yeah.
They're perfectly nice.
Yeah.
It's I have to clean up after him a little, but I'm used to doing that
Yeah.
with other animals in the apartment. So, I think he's ready to strike out on his own. I think now that he's fully grown, I don't think he'll stay here.
Yeah. It's fun.
All right. So what's the first one here? You get a little bit more of the baby because of the positioning of the camera.
Yeah. We get to see her whole body.
What have we got here? Okay. All right. This is Only the Dead Know Brooklyn. By Chris Vola. Whether you hear the premise for why it's called that. Like vampires? Like Brooklyn? Well, Chris Vola's got a book for you. A vampire who is confined to Brooklyn gives up his immortality to save the human love of his life and unknowingly wades into a much larger supernatural conspiracy in this supernatural thriller. Ryan Diggs has lived in Brooklyn for 128 years, 96 of them as one of the last members of a tribe of blood-eating immortals who have been called to the borough home since before colonial times. Okay, so this owes a lot to Pete Hamill, who wrote a famous novel about someone who was immortal as long as he didn't leave Long Island, or Manhattan. But it's got a vampire twist. Okay. So this comes out in late May in hardcover. Only the Dead Know Brooklyn. This is one of the perils that you also don't get when I film myself, is that I'm not tempted to cuddle with Lucy after. I am tempted when she's leaning on top of me like this. Oh, great. Oh, fantastic. This is the vacation guide to the solar system. And that's all it is. That's what it's set up to be, is just destination by destination, as if you were a paying tourist.
That's kind of amazing.
So like, for instance, when you're in Jupiter, when you're visiting Jupiter and you go to the North Pole, if you're a fan of Vincent van Gogh, you'll love Jupiter's North Pole region. Here, the usual bands and zones of Jupiter dissipate, leaving a sky of chaos.
That sounds awesome.
And that's all it is. It's just, it's got these cheesy travel log pictures. I kind of thought would be in color. Maybe this still isn't the finished copy. No, this isn't the finished copy. Okay, the finished copy will probably, all that stuff will be in glorious Technicolor.
That would be amazing.
And this comes out on June 6th. Great. Oh, fantastic. All right, so the vacation guide to the solar system. What are we going to do, baby? Where are we going to put these things? So we'll put the paperwork over here. We'll put the books over here. How's that seem? We'll put the books over here. Let's see here. Oh, fantastic. Okay. This next one comes out in late May, and this is Paradise Lost, a new biography of F. Scott Fitzgerald, which I have not read nor heard anything about it. That's fantastic. Pigeonholed in popular memory as a jazz-age Epicurean, playboy, and emblem of the lost generation, F. Scott Fitzgerald was at heart a moralist, struck by the nation's shifting mood and manners after World War I. In Paradise Lost, David Brown contends with Fitzgerald's deepest allegiances, that his deepest allegiances were to a fading antebellum world he associated with his father's Chesapeake Bay roots. Yet as a Midwesterner, an Irish Catholic, and perpetually in-debt author, he felt like an outsider to the haute bourgeoisie haunts of Lake Forest, Princeton, and Hollywood. Okay, well that sounds ambitious anyway. Not very long. And there's a whole building full of primary sources for Fitzgerald, so the fact that it's not very long is kind of interesting on its own. All right, so all right, May. So a biography, good. It's not any of the big biographies that I'm looking forward to. There's a 1,000-page biography of Grant coming out. There's a 1,000-page biography of Herbert Hoover coming out. There's a 1,000-page biography of President McKinley coming out, and I want them all, but I'll take it.
You'll read them all in one day.
This is a mass market. This could be a romance. No, it's not a romance. Well, all right. Thank you, Wendy Corsi Straub, for playing. This comes out in late March. It is a mass market. It's bone white. A Mundy's Landing Book 3. Don't think I read Book 1 or Book 2. Did we read Book 1 or Book 2?
Lucy did.
She's falling asleep. Nothing has slept much all day. The town of Mundy's Landing was founded on a horrifying secret, but stark white bones of the dead never lie. They very often do, but that's okay. that's all right. Mass market paperback of a thriller that's a third in a series is, I admit, not going to be prioritized. So let's move on. This is we're bearing down on the end here. Oh, great! Fantastic! Have you got this yet? This is Gabe Hudson's Gork the Teenage Dragon.
Whoa, that's really... Wait, look, let me see that cover again.
He's making the... What's up, dude?
Oh, that's great.
And it has a blurb from Dave Eggers, but we won't...
No, I've never even heard of that.
This comes out in July. Gork isn't like the other dragons at War Wing's military academy. He has a gigantic heart, 2-inch horns, and an occasional problem with fainting. His nickname is Weak Sauce, and his will to power ranking is Snapalicious, the lowest in his class.
Wow.
But he is determined not to let any of this hold him back as he embarks on the most important mission of his life. Tonight, on the eve of his high school graduation, he must ask a female dragon to be his queen. All right. Okay.
When does that come
Great.
out?
That comes out in July.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I haven't... Who's published that? Who published that?
It's Knopf, but it doesn't look like anything they've ever done. It looks completely different.
It looks like an old science fiction book.
It kind of does. It looks like that's the look they were looking for. And then this is the last one, although there is another package we could open, as long as we're on camera. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, we go from the funny to the deadly serious. This is... Okay, this is due in late May, and it's called The Only Language They Understand by Nathan Thrall. And the subtitle is Forcing Compromise in Israel and Palestine. So, forcing compromise and the only language they understand. That's those two things together are a mighty heavy burden for a book on the Israel-Palestine conflict to overcome, and we haven't even opened it. So maybe I want to know who he is before I know if he's... Who is he that he wrote this book? Leading commentator on the Arab-Israeli conflict. He's a senior analyst at the International Crisis Group and a regular contributor to the New York Review of Books. And he lives in Jerusalem. He lives in Jerusalem. He probably has children that go to school in Jerusalem, goes to the shopping mall and supermarkets in Jerusalem. I wonder how he'd feel about being on the receiving end of the only language they understand. Okay. Well, this comes out in late May, and he presents the startling thesis that it is force, including but not limited to violence, as if there's any other kind, that has impelled each side to make its largest concessions, from Palestinian acceptance of a two-state solution to Israeli territorial withdrawals. This simple fact has been neglected by world powers, which have expended countless resources on initiatives meant to diminish friction instead of imposing force. Okay. Right, so I'm definitely going to want to write about this, if only to figure out what it is. And also, Metropolitan Books says in their pub sheet that he's doing interviews from Jerusalem. I think I might like to do that, or at least try. I have to hope that the book is more complex than force them to get along. I have to hope that that's true. Because a book by a major publisher, by a major expert on the subject, that says force them to get along is about the last thing the world needs. So anyway, we've got The Only Language They Understand. We've got Gork, the Teenage Dragon. We've got Paradise Lost, a new biography of F. Scott Fitzgerald. We've got Only the Dead Know Brooklyn. We have the Vacation Guide to the Solar System. And we have Wendy Corsi Straub, Bone White. And that is the book portion of our unboxing. If you'll indulge me, since I'm dying of curiosity. There is one other thing that we can unbox, and it's this.
I'm glad we can give Steve an outlet to open his new toy.
Steve bought another computer. because Steve's flirtation with Lenovo didn't go so well. Whereas flirtations with Max always did go well. What is that? There's a carrying case. Didn't know that was coming.
That's cool.
There's style.
So you bought this used?
I did, yes.
It's good the person still had the original box.
Yeah, I guess people, they even 10 years ago, people just would buy these things and then store them away.
Yeah.
To sell them someday to schmucks like me. Wow. All right, so let's.
Lucy's just got a computer.
This box because I don't think I can turn a used thing. It's a 15-inch, 10-year-old MacBook, complete with everything. Wow, look at that. All right, I don't think it's going to have any power, but I do want to take a look at it. Then we can sign off. Let's see if it has any power. Then I swear I'll let you go because. Doesn't even have the Apple sound. It's too early for that. It just goes. But it does work. It has a nice clear screen.
I wonder what the battery life is going to be on it.
The listing on Amazon said the battery does hold a charge, which is pretty vague. So it might be 15 minutes. But it came charged. That's great. It
Whoa.
detaches from that.
What's it doing? What is it doing?
Gott im Himmel! It's welcoming me in German. Lieber Gott.
In every language.
Every language.
What's going on, baby?
How long is this?
I don't know.
I hope
I'm
this
kind of glad
happens.
we have it on film.
Does this happen every single time you turn it on?
I hope so. I hope it does happen. And then it's psych. It's actually an X-Men movie.
Ha.
There we go. I guess the guy that sold it
What is this music?
set it up so that
It's from the 80s.
it actually goes through setup when you open it. That's good.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'll set it up on my own. I have to figure this thing out because I don't want to use this material as a plug if I don't have to. But there you have it. It's a somewhat unusual mail haul. But that's okay because it's in an unusual place.
It's on a...
I shall see you soon, Book 2. I'm going to go play with my toys.
So we're back now, obviously. We actually didn't get back home until around 7:30. So we were with Steve for a little while after the last clip you just saw. We were just hanging around and talking. We were talking about the possibility of him self-publishing some of the books that he's been writing, and he was telling us a bit about some of the story ideas he has, and one he's writing right now that he really loves writing, which I'm not going to talk about because it's a bit of it'll be finished in a couple months, I guess, and he'll probably talk about it then because we're going to try to. Well, I'm going to help him try to maybe get it self-published on Amazon. He wasn't sure what the process of that was, and I've researched that quite a bit in the past, and I feel like I could help with it, and maybe like make covers and stuff for the books that he's already written. He's written several books already throughout his life that he could possibly publish, and we both think it would be a really good idea for him to finally release them, and he wasn't sure what the process was, and I was kind of explaining it to him, and he was like, oh, well, I think we could do that, so we'll give it a shot. And he's writing a book right now that he read a couple chapters from to Giselle and I, and they're pretty great, so I'm really excited to see where it goes. It's a very interesting book, and I'm excited for people to see it. It's the first one that we're going to try to put up on Amazon. We were talking about like what the cover would be, and I could possibly make the cover and help him format it into an ebook, because that's really the only challenge, is taking the book and then formatting it into a readable ebook for Amazon. So that should be not too difficult to figure out, and so I'm going to help him with that, and it should be really fun. And we talked about lots of other bookish things as well, but Giselle is actually already asleep on the couch. She was feeling very tired. I'm going to spend tonight, the last few hours of tonight, reading and definitely doing some vlog stuff. I probably won't post any today, which it sucks, but I might try to post them tomorrow. I really hope I can get some posted tomorrow, maybe a little batch of them, and try to get caught up as soon as possible. But I've got so much reading to do, and I'm reminded all the time how much reading I have to do and how behind I am on it. I mean, I wanted to do some reviews for Steve for his Open Letters Monthly or Open Letters Weekly and then possibly do paid reviews for Kirkus, but I don't have the time for that now. I'm so behind on everything, and it's just difficult to find the time to do all this kind of stuff. And then on top of that, tonight I thought this would probably happen. I wasn't sure how long we would be at Steve's place, but I'm really glad we were able to stay for quite a while and hang out with him and talk. It was a lot of fun. But I don't want to spend any time tonight away from either reading or editing vlogs, because so I'm not going to be posting my Logan review tonight. So I might push that off until Thursday, hopefully. I really hope I can get it out on Thursday. We'll see. But I would really just like to at least spend the next couple hours reading before I get too tired. Because I'm feeling okay right now, but I have a feeling I'll get tired pretty soon. So I think that's where I'm going to end it today, though, because Giselle's already asleep. I'm not sure how long I'll be up, but I'll be up definitely for a few more hours, but I'm going to be doing some stuff. And then I'm sure she'll wake up from the couch and then go actually to bed, and maybe I'll join her then, so we can both get a good night's sleep for tomorrow, because today felt like Saturday, which makes sense, but tomorrow is a weekday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and today was Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so we're both going to be going to work. She has work at the bookstore, so we both need to be ready and get to work by 9. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you tomorrow.